So Robert has outlined the complexity of what we're trying to do, and Susan has identified the quantity that we have to deal with, and we want to make it usable. So clearly this is not something that's going to be done by any one discipline, and we're talking now about the collaboration between 3 disciplines. And that collaboration, of course, tremendously exciting, tremendously challenging, but absolutely essential to this project. And I'm going to be describing this diagram, but I'm going to take you through it in pieces. So we're talking about an interaction between 3 sciences, and it's not something that happens once. It's an iteration. It's going to come and go in different phases of the project. So there are 3 sciences: computer science, information science, and behavioural sciences. The behavioural science is going to deal with the ontology of behaviour change, answering the question, how can we organise the evidence in an ontology? Computer science is going to extract and interpret the evidence. What does the evidence show? What does it mean? And finally, information science is going to make this information accessible in real time and at scale. How can we make the information usable? We start with the behaviour change experts who are going to design this ontology, and Robert has taken you through a fair amount of the ontology. The ontology will then be used it will be informed by the scientific literature, but it will also be used to annotate the scientific literature, and that will be the first phase that the behavioural scientists will be involved in. When we come on now to the computer scientists, they will look to see if they can annotate and integrate this scientific literature. What we want to achieve here is a way of extracting the information from the scientific literature without requiring human beings to do it. And so the ontology is going to be used to extract information from the public literature, but organised using the ontology. So you can see that's quite a bit of interchange between the behavioural scientists and the computer scientists, because the behavioural scientists are in effect training the machines, and the machine will learn, and the machine will reason and interpret the evidence. The third part of the collaboration is the information science. When we've extracted the information, interpreted the information, we want to make it usable, and this is a really important part of what we're trying to do. So, given that we're successful in this project, as Susan has outlined, we promise to get as far as we can on this project, we will end up with an interface which you can come to with a query, and you can ask a specific question, and our interface should be able to answer it for you. So you should be able to use any part of the big question, what works for a particular population, for a particular behaviour. And what the interface should be able to give you is effectively a real-time meta-analysis, a real-time summary of the evidence. And if we can achieve that, I think it will be tremendously exciting. Obviously, all of that feeds back into the system. The system interacts, it integrates. We're not talking about a sequence of one discipline does something, then another discipline does something, then another discipline does something. We've got to work with each other all of the time, so that if we get interpretations of the evidence that don't make sense in behavioural science terms, the behavioural science people will be commenting on that. So this is how we expect the collaboration to work. We start with the behaviour change experts designing the ontology. The ontology is applied to literature, and we get a provisionally annotated scientific literature. This is then fed into an AI system which is going to interpret it, automatically annotate it. And at this point, we have the literature organised according to the ontology, and this will be informing the user interface that people can then interrogate. You can see we have an unstructured scientific literature here, which will be fed into this system and also interpreted. And of course, we get new insights, we get an interface that allows us to interpret the evidence. And that interaction is what we're talking about when we talk about the interaction between the disciplines in this project. Thank you.